we are back. Act 2 the podcast, episode 84. Ocho cuatro. How you say 84?
84.
84. We are back stateside. What's up, people? Your boy International Walk.
It's your girl Taj, the co-hostess with the mostest.
It's a little, Act 2 the podcast had a little leisure time. We was out the country, we back stateside. But y'all can catch us, act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Breaker, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, TikTok, all those good stations. You can find our face. All you gotta do is look for them. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Mentally, I'm an 8. Feel good. Had some good time away from work. This was one of those vacations that was a busy vacation, but we did get some rest, and just being someplace new was exciting.
We had a busy vacation before, though.
Yeah,
our honeymoon.
I said this was one of those. Yeah, our honeymoon was extremely busy.
Like, we came back from our honeymoon, like, needing another week off.
Yes, climbing mountains in the jungle and stuff. But, this was one of those busy vacations, but it was good. We talked a couple episodes ago about that time of the month for women and how it can impact you. I will say this, ladies. It is so important to have a man in your life, or person, if that's a person. If you don't want a man, you want a woman, whatever your taste is. It's important to have a person in your life just to support you and to pour into you. We can be self-deprecating sometimes, especially during that time of the month when we may not be feeling our best. And he reiterates to me what I already know, but sometimes may forget where you be feeling blah. But he helps me feel better. So I appreciate you for that. So I'm like an 8. I love you too. What's next? Finances?
Yep.
Finances are a 7. So no, finances, finances are a 10. I am extremely grateful we're able to do the things that we want to do and still do the things that we have to do.
Right.
I think as we
do
get
what you
older,
need to do so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, as we get older, you start to prioritize and look at things a little bit differently in life. And, as women and some men too, do a lot of shopping. And that's one of the things I realized. I have everything I need, a lot of things that I want. And I'm just making some mental notes for myself as far as things that I want to change so that, we can do more of the things that we want to do. So,
like travel?
Yeah, travel. Like, we talked about this. If somebody gave you an opportunity to go on, to have more travel or more things, for me, it's always going to be travel. And not just travel. It's the moments and the memories versus the material things for me. That's just always going to be the thing for me. And not that, shopping interferes with us doing the things that we want to do, but I'm committed to doing more of those things. So if that means, I can cut back a little bit on shopping to make room for that, I'm with it 1000%. Work is a 10 because I ain't been there. I ain't thought about it. I'll probably start thinking about it tomorrow just to see what I'm headed into on Monday. I ain't one of those people who log it in tomorrow to prepare for Monday. Work will be work.
People log in on Sunday to prepare for Monday?
Well, I shouldn't have dated the episode, but sometimes people log in like prior to their return to work, just to kind of see like what's in store for them.
Oh no, fuck that.
Not me. I will see what's there when I get there.
And that's like me calling people saying, "What problems did y'all have? Did this
right.
get built? Like
what's been going on? What should I expect? I'll find out when I get there."
Nope.
So work is a 10 because I ain't been there.
Physically, how you feel?
Physically, I'm a 7.
7.
One of the symptoms that we didn't talk about, we talked about that time in the month for some women, and it can fluctuate. Maybe not everybody has the same symptoms. I get migraines, like period migraines, lights, sounds, all that kind of stuff. And
you get super sensitive too.
Yeah. You mean emotionally?
No, sensitive like light and sound.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it doesn't happen every time, and I usually know how to control it, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it a little bit. So, but so I'm like a 7, but My heart feels good. So,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm good. My mental is probably a 9. I just feel good about myself. Feel good about my decision, our decision. Yeah, I feel great. My mental is good. Finances, I would probably say a 7 plus 8. Took a little hit, but we
It was
all right.
worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. We still chugging along. We still living our life the way we live it. Work a 10 because I ain't fucking been there. Don't care. I got a message saying I got your duffel bag and hat. I'm like, what I don't know. Like, I do construction. Why I got a duffel bag and a hat?
Maybe somebody gave that to y'all, like from work, like work swag.
I don't know. I never been there. I just got a message saying, I got your duffel bag and hat.
I like work swag. Well, I haven't gotten any in a long time, but I like work swag.
Yeah, duffel bag and a hat. So we'll
Okay.
see. Physically, I feel cool right now. My mouth is still healing, but I feel good. Yeah, my gums are still healing, but right now I feel good. So physically, I would give myself an 8.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You chugging along. Can I ask you first?
What? Go ahead.
What's your wows and woes for this week?
My wow this week is. Hate to have the dead air, but it's called for.
And
yeah.
I'll add some sounds like bling. Do it again. What's your wow? Bling bling.
Yes. When it was out the country, which is always good to have a new experience, but went and got myself some teeth. So yeah.
He went and got your teeth repaired. It ain't like you got
Oh,
dentures.
yeah. Well, no, I don't have dentures.
I know,
no.
but you said went and got myself some teeth
no.
like you got it set in.
No, I don't have no dentures. I went and got my teeth repaired, and this is the repair. So yeah, I'm blinging again. I always was self-conscious about my teeth, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, that was my biggest wow, that we took that step, made a decision, and we went to Colombia, and it was fun out there. It was a good experience. It wasn't the type of vacation that we normally do, where we on beach and land in the sun and doing all that kind of shit. But it was different, and it was someplace. It was another place we can say we've been.
Yeah. And we'll go back.
Shout out to this one here, because if I was there by myself, like I said, I know 6 words in Spanish. She know 100, probably a few more. So she was my, get me food and get me weed, like all this kind of stuff she was doing. So
my brain was not on vacation. I will tell y'all that. Oh my God. Shout out to, and it's crazy because I could not remember their names for the longest time. Senora de la Reine and Senora Pacini, who were my Spanish teachers in high school, because, baby, I was like talking to people. We'll get into that later, but shout out to them.
But that was my
I hope
wow.
they're still alive.
My woes, I didn't have any woes. No woes. A little bit of pain, yeah. So let me put that on the woes. Pain, but when is it not pain in your mouth when people are working on it and drilling and pulling out teeth and shit like that? So yeah, the woes was it came with some dental pain, and but it's worth it. So I can't say enough. You don't have to go to Colombia. You don't have to. You can go wherever you can go to your dentist here. But if you feel self-conscious about your teeth like I did, it's never too late to do something about them. What's your wows and woes?
My wow was definitely the entire experience. You being able to do something that you've wanted to do for so long, us being in a new place, the cultural, I won't say barrier, but the language challenge, the communication challenge, the whole experience was definitely a wow for me. It was an eye opener. Learned a lot, and one of the things, like you said, it wasn't like our normal beach vacation, but we have recently talked about other places in the world that we want to visit, and we've come to the age where we realize we don't necessarily, as much as we love the beach, we're not, all of our vacation goals don't involve the beach.
Right.
Won't involve the beach. So this was kind of like that eye opener to that. For a different purpose, but that the whole experience was a wow for me. It was a great experience, just being somewhere else and being just being immersed in a completely different environment. My woe, I would say, grateful for traveling mercies and being safe, but the whole airport. This was our first time we've been to Jamaica 3 times, Puerto Rico twice, we've been to LA. So this was our 7th trip in almost 2 years. This was the first time we had a layover. The timing of the layover wasn't the issue because it was short enough. It was short enough. It was just the process.
Yes.
The travel through the airport, the
fucking
customs,
TSA,
the
the customs,
the line after line after
the
line.
shoes off, shoes on, everything out your pockets, like that makes TSA pre-check a priority.
Yeah, and
like
it also makes you realize we are learning about because we've always taken vacations, road trips. As we learn about the process and things that we like and don't like, we gonna get it right. And one thing we realize, you gotta spend some change, a little extra change. We only fly American. Shout outs to American if you all want to give us a sponsorship deal. But you gotta spend a little bit of change too, because it's worth it to pay a little extra not to have a layover if possible. I know some places that's not even an option, but if possible, TSA pre-check, that's also another thing. But it's those little additional things that you can do just for your comfort and ease is worth the money, because
first class, all that stuff is worth it.
The lines just drove me crazy.
The little dumb shit, like being on a plane, everybody's safe, everybody's flying, everybody's going to get to the destination. But when you're getting off the fucking plane, it's like the agitation of sitting in a chair for 5 hours and then having to wait 20 minutes, just 20 minutes, just for people to get off the plane. It's like you want to peel somebody's face off. It's like, oh my God. But that little shit like that, just fly first. If you fly first class, then you don't have to worry about that because you right off the plane.
Yeah, so that was like a little woe. But again, I don't want to complain too much because we got to where we were going and home safely. So,
yeah. Colombia, just the experience. Let's talk
Viva
about
Colombia.
that. How was your experience in Colombia? Talk about that.
It was a lot of things
what do you bring back? What stands out to you?
A lot of things that stood out to me, even from landing there. One of the things I noticed, Americans are so pompous and like stiff. When we've gone to Jamaica, well, I never heard it until I went to Puerto Rico. When people clap when the plane land, they clap when we went to Jamaica. They clap when we went to Colombia. You come to America, people just feel like they're too I'm not clapping for landing, but I like it when they clap.
Yeah.
Not only that, when we got through customs in Colombia.
But that's a contagious thing you can't really control.
What do you mean?
Like if you're amongst a group of people and people start clapping, you're liable to clap because it's just a contagious thing.
I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Right, but you have to really think not to. Like, because your hands will just start clapping because you're like, okay, people are clapping.
I like it, but when I noticed when you land, and it like I could have been the first one to start the clap, but I didn't. But but even when we went through customs, when we landed in Colombia, this man, it exemplified to me the pride that they show. He started singing Viva Colombia like an opera. It sounded amazing though. I don't know what
through the fucking gate after he got his check. He checked in.
I don't know if it was the acoustics in the building or he just had an amazing voice, but it was just that sense of pride that everybody seemed to have in just being from Colombia. I will say again, we've been to Puerto Rico twice. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, so although they speak Spanish, most people speak English as well. Baby, they don't speak English in Colombia. I had to do some research because I was just blown away. 4% of the country say that they speak English. So that means, what's the proficiency level? It depends. Like that, it can depend, because just because you might say you speak English, you might know a little bit. But I would accept a little bit versus what we encounter. When I tell you they don't speak English and they don't try, it ain't like they just don't know. Yeah, it's like if somebody was trying to speak to me in French and it's like, I can't communicate. Like they like no.
It's a different thing from Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, they start with Spanish first. If you don't, then
Yeah.
they can come to English. But over there, the fact that it's a different country from the United States, it's almost like we don't care that you don't speak English. That you don't speak Spanish. You in our country,
You
and
better
if you don't
find a
speak
way.
the language, then you won't eat. You won't get a hotel room. You won't get a cab. Like you won't. There's certain things you don't get if you don't speak the language,
Yeah.
and it's very, very direct and straightforward. Like we speak Spanish here.
One of the things that made me, what I will say is they noticed that I did know a little bit of Spanish, so they weren't rude about it. They were kind of like, okay, I'll work along with you and maybe speak a little slower or think of how to simplify the things in Spanish, but they just didn't say. Now, the few people that you would go into a restaurant, it might be 20 waitresses there. They'll tell you 1 minute and they'll go get the one waitress that may speak English, and his English or her English still may be very broken. But we worked it out. We had taxi cab. We took a couple taxis. We had a driver back and forth, Alberto, to the dentist's office. He and we had a good rapport because he knew a little English. I knew a little Spanish, but he said I did a good job. He said I did.
She did. I think she did an awesome job. She was having conversations and saying words, and how did she remember how to say spoon? Like one time she was there and she was like, chuquera.
Cuchara.
Yeah, cuchara. And it was like, how did you remember how to say spoon?
Literally, it was like, this is the problem. This is what made me feel stressed, because in having a normal conversation, it's a call and response. Somebody says something, you respond. Somebody says something, you respond. But there it was like they would say something and it's like in my mind I'm thinking, okay, she said this and I gotta say this, and make sure you use the correct verb conjugation and the right so it was like I knew how to say certain stuff, but I literally had to put it together in my head. It didn't just flow naturally. It definitely was a brain exercise throughout the week for me. But it also, again, it made me feel happy that I knew a little bit, and it also made me feel motivated to learn more.
Yeah, I almost experienced some embarrassment because I don't know a lot of Spanish, and I'm around Spanish people who are teaching me at work, and it's a slow process. So for me, for me, it was like, I needed her to get through some stuff, and it was like, okay, like she said, I'm motivated now to learn even more. But it was like a culture shock for real, because you can't do it to get weed. Like we was buying weed, and it was like I'm trying to talk to these dudes and they don't know no English, like probably 5-6 words of English. I know 5-6 words of Spanish, and the one guy just talking to me in Spanish, like the old dude. Like I'm like, I don't understand you, dude.
And this is him every time. So if we're looking at you guys and you're speaking Spanish to us, he'll be and if I'm him and he's me, he'll listen to what they're saying and then look at me. Listen to what they're saying. And look at me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying. Or if I walk away from somewhere and he goes to the cash register and I'm just browsing on, he Tosh, like.
I know otra vez, which means again.
Because I said that so many times when people would say.
What time is it? I know un poquito means a little bit. Like I know little stuff like that, but when it's we need a table for two, I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to say table.
Every place we walked in, he's pushing me along.
And those little words with and the and about, it could be el this and da this and todos that. I don't know. So it's hard. It's hard.
So outside of the language part, I will say this, no shade, initially the warm welcome wasn't felt like it was going to Jamaica.
Nah.
Even when
Jamaica felt like you coming. I hit the fucking thing. Jamaica felt like we was going home. Yeah,
even entering the hotel, it was how can I help you? Here comes these gringos. It just didn't feel warm and friendly, and it was hi, we're here to check in. Yeah, so it what, but you know, as we encountered different people in restaurants and stuff like that, you know, they were nice and they were friendly. I went in a bra store and I had to figure out how to ask them what was the biggest size they carry. But yeah, it
See,
definitely.
like shit like that. Like, how would you just remember how to say bra? Like, I can understand you knowing how to say biggest, but how do you say bra? Like, where would
No,
that just come from?
I asked her what was the biggest size.
Oh, not just the biggest size bra, just what's the biggest size?
Right. I mean,
because it's a bra store.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that it was definitely a cultural, a language, an experience in that. Culturally, one of the things I can say about that I felt about the Colombian people, they are a proud people in the sense of their appearance. Like, everybody look nice, and I'm not talking about nice in a materialistic way, but just at the mall. Like, our hotel was attached to to two ginormous malls.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you think about America, you go to the mall, you know, you'll see a group of girls with tights and slippers and bonnets and scarves, or people just with sweatpants, like casual clothes. No,
Like running to the malls, like running to the corner store in America.
everybody was dressed like from the morning time to the evening as if like they were going to work. Even moms with kids, no, might have had on like jeans and a t-shirt and sneakers or something, but that was probably the most casual that it got. Like, everybody just looked nice.
Yeah.
Everybody just looked
All the
nice.
women had dresses on. 8 o'clock in the morning, people had pumps and heels on. Like,
Yeah. Older
it was
women,
ridiculous.
everybody just looked nice. Like, they took pride in their people.
A lot of the men over there dress like businessmen, like slacks and short sleeve dress shirts, or they trying to dress like soccer players. Like,
Yeah.
they got the little thin sneakers on with the soccer jerseys.
Last thing that I will say that that I noticed about there, and this made me do some research. It ain't a lot of fat people in Colombia. I'm just gonna flat out say that, y'all. It's just not a lot of fat people. A lot of fat people. You know, me being a plus size beauty that I am, I will say I probably was the people of my size or smaller, I'll say. Seen a couple thick chicks or whatever. They got asses. Everybody got asses. Yeah. I'm talking about real, authentic asses.
Like they got
the
thumpers.
Grandmas got asses.
They got thumpers. Not necessarily hips. They got off the back thumpers. Some got hips, but a lot of them,
nurses,
majority of them,
doctors,
it doesn't matter.
cashiers,
The kiosk worker
baristas,
in the mall, baristas, anybody walking down has this giant butt that American girls go
from
buy.
18 to 88, they got asses.
Yep.
But again, like I said,
black women, older darker women with gray hair, like thumpers.
They come in all colors, you know, all colors. Just like here in America, you know, but you know, them being Colombian, you see a woman who's chocolate, beautiful, thick, long hair, don't speak a speck of English.
No.
But just a beautiful people, prideful people. It made me look up. So and out of all the countries in the world, excluding the Vatican City, the United States of America is number 12. In most obese countries, with the first 11 primarily being those countries of the Micronesia Islands, but United States is number 12. Colombia is number 78. Bless you.
Thank you.
Colombia is number 78, so kind of like half. But it was obvious because
their diet, it's what they eat for breakfast. You come downstairs for breakfast and it's like fruit and little pastries and not a lot of. They had hash browns with no middle, no potato in it. Like, I don't know how they did that, but they had hash browns with no potato in it. Like, they're not gaining weight like that. And then, but at lunchtime they eat these giant pasta meals, like, or just big meals in general,
and then a lighter dinner.
But when they wake up in the morning, I think they're about just being productive, grabbing some fruit, grabbing something small, and
they did have like some rice and beans and stuff, but it was with a lot of fruit.
People was eating.
Not a lot of people ate that.
No, they were dogging fruit plates and little pastry plates and puff balls of whatever.
Yeah, but it definitely, it was just a very different, and maybe, you know, for those of you who may already be international travelers, it was a different cultural experience because, again, Puerto Rico it's Americanized. You know, it is a U.S. territory, but it felt Americanized. Jamaica, although completely culturally different, they cater a lot to America, so it still was a different, you know, being on a resort is a different experience there as well. And Colombia, being in, you know, just immersed in a different continent, you know, again, it's not just a different country, or it's in a different continent. It felt just completely different. And one thing I think about Americans, we can sometimes be so pompous where we just feel like everybody's supposed to know our language and know our culture. And there it was just like, nah, you here. You gotta assimilate to what we do and how we do things. The money.
Yeah, the money was crazy. I went into a store after buying drugs, bought some weed, and then I went into a store. I ain't got no lighter, so I get two lighters, and she got some money exchange. So she gave me 100,000 pesos, which was two $50 bills, which I thought it was, but
there was $50,000. Their money comes in thousands of pesos.
Yeah,
right?
So a 50 is 50,000 pesos. So I had two of them. So I go in to buy two lighters, and the lighters were 600 pesos, which translate in our money is 18 cents. I tried to give the lady 50,000 pesos. I tried to give the lady 50,000 pesos for 18 cents, and she was like, looking at me like I'm crazy. So then I pull out my card, and she's like, no,
you
like, what is wrong with you?
Pay
This is 18
cents. On a card?
I don't know this is 18 cents yet. I just think it's 600 pesos.
And she spoke no English.
Zero.
She's
she didn't
looking
even try.
At us like...
Yeah. And luckily, this lady that was buying something next to us with a thumper was like, no, do you have the coins? My wife pulls out a quarter of American money and gives it to the lady. And she looks at it and says, no, like, what is wrong? Like, she's saying in Spanish, you can tell by her energy, what is wrong with y'all? Like, are y'all crazy?
Then he pulls out cash, like,
yeah, like
US
$20 bills. And I'm like, she's like, no. And so the lady was so kind next to her, she just went in her purse and gave her, I don't know, whatever 600 pesos was. And maybe she gave her 800 because she gave her some change back. But she gave her a 5. So she gave her 5,000 pesos.
Yeah, but the stuff, you bought two lighters, so they would have been 1,200 pesos. So yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, we realized, all right, we got to get this currency
we still have pesos
together.
Because we didn't know how the coins work.
Yeah.
So we just brought them home because we don't know
I did
how
go
the
to
coins
Starbucks
work.
and use some paper money, pesos, and that worked out good. But we realized the currency exchange, like the stuff that U.S. dollars stretch very far there. Like, we had a great lunch, like burgers, fries, drinks, like waters or whatever. But a great lunch, 23. The currency conversion came to $23. This would have.
But over there, the meal was like 139,000 pesos.
Yeah, but this would have easily been like, because this was kind of like a gourmet burger place. This would have easily been a $40, $50 lunch in the U.S. And it was $23. Like, our money really stretched a long way there. He bought 6 blunts, con marijuana, for $11.
Yep. I didn't know what, I swear to God, I thought I was going to owe the dude like $100 or something. But yeah, 6. And their drug dealers over there are like crackheads, like real crackheads.
Well, that was one, but yeah.
But the block that they took us to was like, these are real like drug addicts over here selling drugs. Like, it's not a safe place to be walking.
Well, he had to get his medicine because he does have a prescription. So.
Right. But yeah, $11, like, such an odd number for weed.
And the cab ride was $15, and he gave him $20, and he's like, great. Like, a $5 tip was, our money, that would take me some time to adjust to, because even in terms of tipping, I just felt like I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
but I didn't know as far as tipping in their currency, like the coin pesos that we have. I'm like, I don't want to like be insulting to people and giving them these coins. Like, is it because really we had like 1,950 pesos left, coins, which translates to like 44 cents. But to them, 44 cents is 44 cents to us, but 44 cents will buy, damn near 3 lighters to them. So I don't know, it was just very weird adjusting to that and using a card. And then not everybody wanted US dollars because they said they can't always spend it.
Right.
So it was definitely an adjustment.
Would you go back?
I would. I mean, so we went to Cali, and that's not really like a vacation town. But I would go back to Colombia, definitely. I would want to see more.
Cartagena.
I want to go to Cartagena. I want to go to Medellin. Like, I want to see more culture, possibly, but more the cultural stuff. Are they vacation?
Are they like beach places? Like if we went to Bogota, if we went to Medellin?
Bogota or Medellin isn't, but I think it's more historical. So like, if we wanted to just see, but Cartagena, definitely we're going to go back. And that's.
But what's to do at Medellin except go on like a Pablo tour?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just more historical. Right. It's like going to Rome.
Right.
Like you just going to see stuff.
But that shit is what. Yeah, I mean, I would want to go on a Pablo tour. I'm not saying no, but the Rome shit, that's different for me. Like,
yeah. I mean,
this is where
that's
men fought men and they was eaten by animals. Like, this is crazy.
In the Coliseum.
Yeah, like this shit is crazy over here.
Yeah, so I mean, I would go back to Cartagena. I wouldn't want to stay in, and that's the thing too. They're so far apart, so I wouldn't want to like go to Medellin just to stay there.
Right.
But if it was like, okay, you can take a day trip to visit and then come back, or actually, I would be like a 2-day trip.
3 hours away. Yeah.
No, from Cartagena, it's like 8 hours away.
Well, it's not a day trip. It's a day of traveling.
Yeah.
Do you like flying international?
I don't like flying, period, to be honest. I don't like flying. Wow. I don't like the feeling. But you know what I did think about? We talked about this a lot.
I didn't know you. I knew you didn't care for it. I didn't know you didn't like it.
I mean, it's not like I love. It's like one of the necessary things.
Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you don't like it. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, it's one.
I know that sounds weird, but
it's one of them things where I have to just block out, and if I allow myself to think about it too much, I'll drive myself crazy. Like, I'm always thinking, like, God,
this big piece of metal in the air just floating.
Well, God, don't let our story end like this. Like, I start thinking about what are they gonna say? Like, oh my God, they lived together, they loved each other so much, and then they died together. Like, they died the way they lived, didn't together. Like, I my mind starts.
I know. Going, I don't want it to be like that too. But if the story had to be told, you wouldn't want it to be they died apart or they died.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't want our story to be
killed, or it's like they was probably holding hands, holding each other, and they like that's the way everybody wants to go.
Yes, but I'm just saying, every time we get on the airplane, I think about, oh my God, like, I don't want this to be it. So. But I don't think about it too long because I don't want to drive myself crazy about it. As far as how it makes me feel in terms of like
the sickness.
But I didn't feel too bad this time. But I go to sleep. So it's one of them things. We talked a while ago about what was one of our favorite inventions, and I thought about this last night. Flying.
Yeah, but it's like so weird because of what we've been through in our life, because of what the restraints I was under, and you dying to fly so much and go places.
I just wanted to get other places.
But go places, and then it's like we finally can, and it's like, yeah, I don't really like this though.
No, I like going places. It's like a necessary evil. It's one of my favorite inventions now because it's like, okay, to get from here to here, we gotta fly.
Right.
So it's like
it's a big fucking ocean we flew over to get to Colombia.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I don't love flying. I just love getting to other destinations. So,
but I never knew like you. I mean, I know you get sick and you like don't like the motion of it, but I just didn't. I never heard you say I really don't like flying.
Like, it ain't something I love doing. Right. Like, ooh,
I like it. Like, I like to get on an airplane and fly places. Like, I just like it. I like to look and see it. I like to feel. I think about that for a second. Like, this big piece of metal just flying in the air. Like, it's probably not all that safe. but they do it all the time. So
Right.
that's it. And then it goes out my mind. I don't sit and dwell we sit in the exit row. So it's like, I don't be like, man, what if some shit really go down? Like, am I gonna have to get this door? Like, I don't think about that. And on the plane, I was thinking about, damn, they always ask us, you know, do you want to help out? And you got to give a verbal yes. But this fucking lady sitting here in this chair, like, right with us, like, what the fuck you gonna be doing? Like, why we gotta help? Like, ain't you gonna get the doors?
Yeah.
Like, you work here.
But she one person, so we gonna help
It's 2 doors. Like, the latch is boom, boom.
You know what I think to myself when they always say, you know, God forbid something happen, don't worry about grabbing your personal items. And I'm just thinking, I'm taking my pocketbook around me, like, and I want to at least like have some identification on me.
They paint the picture when they're doing the thing, because it's like, this door is a flotation device. If we're in a water incident, you slide down and the light come on, you blow. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't want to
like,
do
what are you talking about water? Like, what are you talking about
I don't
water?
want to do any of that.
No.
I don't want to blow. I don't want this. I don't want to slide in the water. I don't want to do any of that. So, I mean, I will say, you know, again, flying ain't my favorite thing to do, but going places is. And it's a necessary evil.
Right.
So it's one of them things when I think about my favorite inventions, FaceTime and flying.
What about air conditioning?
You always say that.
It is. You talk about air conditioning ain't the #1 invention. It was invented by a black man. Like, can you imagine if the world had no air conditioning? Imagine flying on a plane that don't have air conditioning. That's hot tube in the air. Flying closer to the sun. You're roasting it.
Okay, so I'll put air conditioning
Oh
in
my
top
God,
3.
air conditioning.
I'll put air conditioning in top
Has to
3.
be the top. Specifically customs and TSA. I know I'm going to get my pre-check, but what do you feel about that?
Yeah,
Do you feel like the customs thing is different every time? Within the check-in, because like I had issues my whole life, and with the law enforcement and all that kind of stuff. She never had law enforcement issues, but now that we can fly, she get flagged for everything. She get flagged for random bag searches. She get flagged for random body searches.
The lady was
she put some stuff on her hands. I don't know if she was rubbing GSR residue or like to see if you shot a gun or had drugs. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That was TSA. I think they was checking for drugs.
Like, did she have cocaine on her hands?
In Jamaica, they searched my bags. Like, they pulled me aside. First of all, they had said that they was allowing people to check their bags for free because it was too many. So we was like, okay, we gonna check our bags. But they was kind of acting weird towards us. Like, what the heck? And then I realized, because my name was on the list, again, they pulled my bags to search through my bags, search my feet, everything. Then this time in Miami, because we had a layover in Miami, the lady's like, oh, the machine, blah, 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 I gotta check you. She checked she's like, open your legs more, like filling me all up. Then, yeah, she wiped my hands, checked, she's like, give 10 seconds. I don't know. They always.
I'm thinking, like, what if her hands like turned blue or some shit? Like, they're gonna be like, yeah, you had drugs on your hands.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it's one of them things where I understand it's a necessary evil. Well, I don't even want to say necessary evil. It's a necessary process that you have to go through. The most important thing is just making sure that you have time, because we had enough time. But any less, like, we had to hustle for our second plane to come home. Yeah, it's one of them things that's necessary because you know, but the crazy thing is, you think about pre 9/11, all these things weren't in place.
Nope, you could just walk through.
That's scary.
It is, because it's such a pain in the ass, but you do realize it's keeping everybody safe. You do realize that, and that's the end game, and I'm okay with that. But it's so much. It's just so much. The searching, the bags, the emptying the pockets, the shoes off, shoes on, like, put your arms up and shit spinning around you. It's like, damn, like, I'm just trying to, like, I'm not trying to blow nothing up.
Yeah.
But it's necessary, and I'm okay with it. But it just seems like it could be it is a faster process. Get the pre-check.
Yeah, pre-check it. We definitely want to invest in it.
Because you don't have to do any of that. You just go up to a booth or they know.
I know.
Is it on your real ID?
I think I'm not sure.
To do pre-check, you have to have real ID, or no?
No, you don't have to, because you can do pre-check without real ID. Because you don't need to have real ID. you need to have real ID if you don't have a passport.
Right.
Yeah, but pre-check, you don't have to take off your shoes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
We talked about the people. We talked about the women, the men. The women on the flight back.
Mm-hmm.
The BBLers, the wheelchair women.
Yes.
Speak about them. The women in the what you call the body things.
Yeah, that had the fajas on, the shapers. Yeah, we did encounter several women that had visited Colombia for their surgeries. And it's just crazy to see, you know, shout out to whomever, whatever decision people make and them wanting to do that.
And they all had a friend with them. Like, there's a lot of them was in pain and, you know, getting their backs rubbed in the airport by their friend who came with them or whatever. But it's just like, wow, like,
you know, I've seen
you hear stories like that on the internet, but to see it right there, it's like 6 wheelchairs and everybody got the same bag, the same pillow.
Yeah.
You know,
and I've seen people go. I think one of the important things too is to allow yourself enough time to stay wherever you are for recovery, because having to get on a plane and deal with that, I can't imagine the amount of pain that they
I felt
had to
pressure
be
in my mouth just from what I got done.
That's in that water.
Just from what I got done. I couldn't imagine getting liposuction or, you know, some kind of surgery done to your body and then getting on a plane being 35,000 feet in the air. It has to feel like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you got this tight thing on too.
Yeah.
The hotel experience. What did you think about the hotel?
The hotel was nice. I mean, you know, I feel like, you know, everybody's level of luxury is different. We've stayed at some really nice hotels before. This hotel was nice. You know, the area that was in, again, it was attached to a mall. But the experience was nice. You know, it didn't seem to be really crowded. Like, we didn't hear a bunch of noise and stuff like that.
The staff was cool.
Yeah, the staff was cool.
Place was clean.
Yes, it definitely was very clean. You know, it felt good.
And we always search. Like, do you feel like we search for 5-star hotels or 5-star resorts wherever we go, but do you feel like we could have found a better place?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that
if
probably
we would have stayed where the office was, you think?
I think it would have been as nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been better. I think it probably would have been as nice. Yeah, we stayed. It was at the Hotel Spiwak, and the section was called Chipa Chape. So it was nice. Chipa Chape. That's how you pronounce it, Chipa Chape. But it was a nice hotel, nice experience. Yeah, nice room, balcony. You know, we had a view of some mountains that was there, so it was pretty nice.
The mountains was nice. Dr. Mario Montoya. That's the dentist I went to there. You guys look him up on Instagram. You see he's done a lot of people's mouth, which caught my attention, which was the reason why I wanted to go there. He's a great dentist. Just speaking about him because I went there and he did my work. Not saying you got to go there. You may have a dentist here that you want to go to, or not. But you know, he was my dentist and he did an excellent fucking job. And I just want to say shout out to Dr. Mario Montoya. I had insecurities about my mouth since I was 19 years old. Always had crooked teeth, always had buck teeth. My brother Gary had perfect teeth when we were small, and he always used to fucking tease me about my teeth being crooked. And it used to bother the shit out of me. It used to bother the hell out of me. And throughout all my growing up, my girlfriends and all that kind of stuff, nobody really never gave me shit about my smile or my teeth or my teeth being buck, but it always bothered me. It always was an insecurity that I had with smiling in women's in their faces and stuff like that. So I did something that at 45 that I wanted to do since I was 19, and I'm happy and proud of myself, and that's it. I just want to leave it there.
I'm happy for you. I know it's been something that you have talked about. It's weird because I never knew until like later years in our life that it was something that you felt insecure about. You know, it's one of the things that's obvious when somebody's teeth isn't straight, but your oral hygiene was always, as it should be. So I'm happy that it is something that you had an opportunity to really.
It's crazy how we come from that culture of like not going to doctors, not going to dentists, and like you could have friends that ain't been to the dentist in 20 years or ain't been to the doctors in 20 years, and it's like that's not what you should do. Even if you do brush your teeth every day or don't eat candy, like that's just not the right things to do. And nobody likes people playing in their mouth or standing on their chest pulling out teeth or any of that shit. Like it's all uncomfortable, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. And I'm proud that I did it. And I'm gonna be smiling more. How often would you like to travel?
I would say probably every other month. So probably
knowing the time that you have at work, if you had to break it down through the year, every other month doesn't seem feasible.
Well, because
only if you took weekend vacations.
I was gonna say you gotta think about the duration, and I think that's something that we haven't done is to really be able to enjoy shorter vacations. But I mean, I would say minimum 4 times a year. 6 is
that's
probably
every quarter.
6 is probably ideal, but I would say 4 is probably minimum.
You said earlier you would take vacations over shopping, right? Yes or no question?
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Okay, if you had $50,000 just to take vacations and no shopping, would you take it?
Yes.
And where would you go?
I would definitely.
Y'all, we want to pose that question to you. I'm sure she'll put that up in the story in the comments. But if you had somebody was going to give you $50,000 and you could not shop with it, you only could take vacations. Would you take it, or would you be compelled to shop with it, buy something other than a vacation?
I would visit a couple different countries in Africa. South Africa. I would want to see Nigeria.
Where would you go to first?
First, I would probably go to the Maldives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go to Greece. I would visit Italy.
Amalfi Coast?
The Amalfi Coast, yeah, definitely. Cartagena. I would visit South Africa.
That would be like 6 on the list? South Africa?
No, I'm not necessarily saying in any specific order.
Well, I said, where would you go first?
Maldives would be first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give me your top 5 places. If you had $10,000 to go 5 places, where would you go first? Maldives.
Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi Coast.
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Ghana.
Ghana.
I got one. Then
Bali.
No, Greece.
Santorini.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I would like those places. I wouldn't change nothing about that. I probably would put, you said Cape Town. I want to go to Johannesburg. So I will probably put that first. Where are we going to next?
Wherever the good Lord allows us to. I'm not sure.
We got a plan to chill for a minute, but our next vacation is probably around,
my birthday.
Yeah, you going around the sun again. We want that to be big. So
God willing, I'm willing.
God willing, we had, the resources to take a big vacation. Would you want to see like Santorini, like right now? Or would it be like, I want to go here first? If I booked a place that got all that white.
No, I would love. Yeah, I definitely. Santorini would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be next on your list if you just picked a spot? That's where we was headed.
Russia. It's like no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that. I would go to. I gotta think because places I gotta go to gotta have medical marijuana.
Yeah, that would be the difficult part.
And
about
I
it.
just seen Gilly and his wife in Greece and Santorini, but I didn't see him smoking at all. I seen him drinking a lot, but I didn't see him smoking in none of the pictures. And he smoked everywhere.
Yeah, he just may not have posted. I did, I've been doing a lot of research and things like that to kind of figure out, places that we can go and, where there would be restrictions or something like that. So, yeah.
All right. What have we learned?
I have learned that the United States has is number 7 on the list of most powerful passports. It's actually tied with 4 other countries. There's 16 countries whose passports are deemed better or more powerful than the U.S. And it's based on the Harper's Passport Index, which rates the number of countries that you're able to enter with your passport without a visa. The number 1 countries tied are Japan and South Korea. So that's what I've learned.
I've learned that America is fucked up for not letting people visit this country like we visit other countries. I was 45 years old on my birthday when I learned that other people from other countries, actually I was in a car with our driver who said, you know, they need visas, and it just clicked in my head like, damn, he's right. Like, you need visas to come to the United States. You can't just visit on, just say I'm doing some tourism like we did. And that's a shame, because we can go and visit other places and do tourism stuff and lay out on their beaches, and they can't do the same thing here. Like, they can't come to Miami, they can't come to California and lay out on our beaches. Like, that shit's just not right. And I didn't know that, and that's what I learned. 3 grams. Woman quit her job after 1 out of 70 co-workers was invited to her wedding showed up.
That's what she get for thinking everybody's her friend. Like 70, I can't even.
But you would think out of 70, maybe
Them,
2,
yeah,
3,
yeah.
5.
Yeah.
1. You can't go back to work there. That's clearly a sign of we don't fuck with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know 70 people at my
like
job.
We don't fuck with you, and we not getting no gift and coming to your fucking wedding. Like, it's no.
Yeah. Everybody at you work, just because y'all work next to each other don't mean that y'all friends.
That's crazy. 2nd gram. What scene from a TV show will you never forget?
Where they did the anniversary dance on the Cosby Show.
Wow. Oh, okay. With the
Baby.
Yeah. Okay. One that pops to me is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, why don't you want me no more?
Oh, his dad. Yeah.
So that pops out in my head. American Airline this is the last gram. American Airline is purchasing supersonic jets. So flights from Miami to London will be 5 hours. Would you ride something like that? I always wanted to ride the Concorde, and they discontinued it when I was a child or something. But I always heard of this plane that flew higher than any other plane, almost at the tip of space, so fast that it did things.
Got faster, yeah.
And it was supposed to be only 2 of these jets.
I wouldn't want to be the first, but I think I would try it once it was proven to be safe. You know,
really?
Yeah.
The way you don't like flying, you would try a supersonic jet.
To get there fast and get off the plane so you're not on it as long.
So we're not doing 500 miles an hour, we're doing 1,000.
You wouldn't try it?
I don't know. I would think I would try Elon Musk's thing underground first, where I go underground and come upstairs and I'm in LA.
Whew, that's scary.
So that's what I would try that first. Act 2 the podcast, episode 84, wrapping up. Hope you guys enjoyed. We back stateside from Colombia. Hope you guys enjoyed. Act 2 the podcast, episode 84. Y'all guys can catch us on act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Breaker, Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Radio Public, TikTok. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. What's wrong?